Oh yeah, you clicked this video, didn't you? I know why you did. Leisure Suit Larry, you saw the word cum. Boobies. Yeah, don't fucking lie to yourself. Look, I'm not happy being the porn guy, okay? The porn game thing is long dead, and it's kind of risky to do porn games nowadays with the demonetization of YouTube and adpocalypse stuff. Unless the porn game itself has something really interesting to talk about to warrant a video, I try to avoid them. But in this case, that's not the truth at all. For you see, this video was requested by a lovely Patreon supporter, ErbBetaPatched. For pledging over the tier, he requested Leisure Suit Larry Magna Cum Laude. Now, that would be fine, that would be dandy. He requested the game, I would do it. Everybody is happy. But that's not the problem. The problem is that when he requested the damn video, I already had this planned. I already had it ordered on eBay. Am I that easy to figure out? Am I that predictable? Look, I know I'm a disappointment to my family, but you don't need to rub it in. Let's just fucking play this game. Oh, and thank you, ErbBetaPatched, for supporting me on Patreon, because you're responsible for the instant demonetization of this video.
TerryByte.
Now let me be frank, I've never played a Leisure Suit Larry game. Didn't play a lot of Sierra games, and quite honestly, if I played Leisure Suit Larry when I was little, I'd question my parents' supervision over me. However, what I do know about Leisure Suit Larry is that he's a bachelor, a struck out of luck playboy who goes on a point and click adventure to sleep with hotties. His games were full of smut, sex jokes, and from what I've seen, genuinely funny adult humor, with a bit of stupidity for good measure.
Adult humor gets a bad rap for, ironically, being more childish. Sex joke, innuendos, and swearing can be used as a cheap laugh, but good adult humor does exist, even in video game form.
From puns to references, Leisure Suit Larry does have its charm, looking at essentially what it's like to be a thirsty guy.
And then Leisure Suit Larry decided to take the jump from 2D to 3D, much like Sonic and Mario, in 2004.
Yeah, 8 years after the fairly smooth jump Mario had, and 6 years after Sonic's rocky spin dash into 3D, Sierra thought, let's bring Leisure Suit Larry into the third dimension.
And to be fair, I don't have a problem with this per se. Point and click games were dying at this point. Sierra tried to move with the times. It was experimental. But how do you get a point and click adventure game staple into the 3D? You do it poorly.
Okay, there's a problem here. Leisure Suit Larry, the series, is about a guy who's a wannabe playboy pretending to be classy and so forth. All the other title screens of his other games had an element of pseudo-class or seedy Las Vegas vibes, which is exactly representative of its source material and comedy. But here, we get underboob.
I mean, look, I get it. It's set in college. It's going for that spring break easy girl vibe. I'll let it pass. It just doesn't really fit Leisure Suit Larry, you know what I mean?
So we start off with Larry being the center of attention, so obviously it's a dream, and honestly, it's pretty funny. Albeit, it's not hilarious by any means, and the animation is a bit wonky, but it's got a good gag once in a while, like this one.
Thanks, God.
Right on.
But then Larry wakes up and sees this fucking freaky thing. Oh my god, is this supposed to be a sex game or a horror game? What is that? What is that? You can't accidentally make something that creepy. That was made to purely horrify the player while their dick was hanging out.
Not that I'm speaking from experience.
So this abomination of animation tells us that there's a competition in town for hot bachelors in a game show, and Larry has to build up a reputation of being a fuckboy to get on the show in the first place. So as we gain control of Larry, we can see that it functions. And what I mean is that while you can move Larry, the game doesn't benefit from doing so. Because, well, this is still a sort of point and click adventure. You still have to go up to objects and have to look and interact with them, much like old school point and click adventure stuff. Which means that if you see anything, instead of just clicking it, you gotta walk all the way to it, which would be fine if Larry wasn't unbelievably, painstakingly, torturously, just slightly too slow. It is so hard to express what is wrong here unless you were actually playing the game. But Larry just moves barely too slow. Like somehow it's even worse than if it was ridiculously slow. He just walks that tiny bit too slow that it grows from a very mild annoyance to persistent annoyance to rage-inducing, even though you're moving at a fairly acceptable pace. It's a constant thread in a string of frustration that I'll go more into. So you can also fart on command. That's it. That's the comedy. Now the gameplay isn't anything special, on paper at least. You talk to a girl, try to win her affection and play a couple of minigames, talk to her, more minigames and sleep with her. Pretty simple stuff, right? Well, the minigames are simple, yes. In fact, they're too simple, sometimes insultingly simple, while others are hard for the wrong reasons. But the talking, well, this shit is whack. So picture conversations in any point and click. Hell, any game in general. This is what you think, right? Dialogue trees, conversations, text.
But
Well, Leisure Suit Larry has this. A sperm swimming through that bullshit driving level in Battletoads.
as stupid as this is, I kind of get it. As I said before, they wanted to veer away from point-and-click adventure. But this is not the way to do it. This is a conversation. You want to listen. Isn't that right, Cedric? I can't believe I wrote that. I actually wrote that down. I said here, but this is not the way to do it. Isn't that right, Cedric? And then the skit is supposed to be sperm goes into my mouth. Fuck you. That's fucking...
Now this is stupid for many reasons, one of them being, why? Because you want it to be different? This is not the way to do it because of the second and main reason, it completely robs your attention. You have to look at this to pass the stage in order to gain the girl's affection. Remember, to progress, you have to seduce. And in the case of this, you gotta get the greens and avoid everything else. Which means you can't listen to the dialogue, which at times has genuinely funny lines between Larry and whoever poor sod he's trying to drive his Chica role into.
Do my eyes deceive me, as they have with so many cross-dressers?
I'm not saying that these jokes are amazing, but the lengths of which Larry lies to sleep with girls is incredible, and with some one-good-liners and puns here and there, has its moments, much like the beginning cutscene. And because talking is a main aspect of this erotic adventure, you'll be doing the sperm obstacle game a lot. And it's not exactly easy either. I'm not here to say its Cuphead levels are hard, but you can't take your attention off it. The gaps between obstacles can be strangely tight, which shouldn't be the case for a game that banks on its comedy and witty writing. Although it is hilarious to see that when you pass, it gives you a "you won" screen. You know, you won the conversation. Clearly the most competitive sports.
Actually, if you count parliaments, having debates and conversation can be a competitive sport.
And now that we've completed the conversation, we have to hop to the next minigame, which is right next to us. What did you think I was going to do next? I wouldn't be so harsh if the loading screens weren't breaking it up so much. I'm not here to say they're Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets long, but they're annoying just enough to be absolutely infuriating. And it's a basic press the button with distractions minigames, nothing too hard. I said not too hard!
There we go.
More boring talking minigame, whoa, bad jokes this time, whoa.
Okay, I'll give you horny monkeys a break. I'll show you the very end, the fruits of all our labor after the minigames and the talking and the minigames and the talking. This is our reward.
They even have glow-in-the-darks. Here, check it out. Turn off the lights.
No, that's not what I... Wait a second. You're not Jewish? But my parents just wouldn't understand me dating a Gentile. I gotta go.
No, wait, hold on. I'll convert.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you get. You just get a picture of Larry's ass. At this point, give me Tommy Wiseau's.
I'm not even kidding. You can't do anything else with her. You'd think there'd be a part 2 somewhere, but nope, this is it. She rejects you because of some extra foreskin. Classy. But it still counts as sleeping with her? So instead of going through a full walkthrough of my long play, I'll just show you some of the most bullshit minigames ever. Like this goddamn newsletter minigame. You have to throw newsletters to students, all of which are clones of each other, before they reach the tables with all the what's the problem here? But here's the problem, they can throw the newspapers back as paper planes. If they reach the table as well, you lose a life. If you throw the paper when there are no people, you lose a life. If you don't give them a paper when they reach the table, you lose instantly. For some reason. But the biggest problem is that they throw back the papers at completely inconsistent rates. Sometimes it's easily manageable, a monkey could do it, but other times, look at this! What am I supposed to do?
Do you really want me to go on? Because you guessed it. For every girl, the cycle repeats. Every single girl you talk to is the exact same thing. You talk to them, approximately 3 minigames back to talking to them, and then some silly skit at the end with a couple of good jokes here and there, but most of them miss. This is the entire game.
There's also a quarters minigame, and it is the most annoying thing I've ever played in all my life. While the controls are kinda nifty, you gotta flick the stick with the right amount of force to get the coin in, with the coin doing some fucking mad ass tricks. It's just so repetitive. You do this, I think, with almost every single girl.
However, this title is not the worst thing ever. It's just boring. It's average. It's a blemish on an otherwise kind of entertaining game series. It's not a cancer, a shit stain, an absolute wreck. It's a blemish. It's like a blemish on my leg, right here. You see? That blemish? See that? Leisure Suit Larry, Magna Cum Laude.
Unlike Shrek's treasure hunt... What? Unlike Shrek's treasure hunt or Charlotte's wet... No, who wrote that? I said no channel recurring jokes in the script. I am not looking at that gameplay again. There was at least effort put into trying to make the game fun, using an existing IP and at the time, dated gameplay. And again, I have to reiterate, the comedy can be good. You have to sort of just lose yourself in it, honestly. It's just a lot of boring gameplay to get to the jokes, which, if you're unlucky, can absolutely fall flat. Depends on the girl, honestly. And it kinda sucks the gameplay crashed and burned so hard, I couldn't bring myself to play more than 5 hours of this crap. 2.5 playing the first half of the game, and the next 2.5 hours playing the first half of the game again because of this piece of shit memory card.
But at the very least, Sierra did teach me how to properly treat women, because as media has told us, we copy exactly everything we see in video games. Hey girl, how you doing? You wanna have some, fuck?
Excuse me?
Hold on, I gotta get this sperm into that green smiley face over there. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Look, I know it's only 1 PM, but you want to get drunk, play some quarters?
Sure. Okay, at this point, I don't think anyone is watching this. I mean, you're literally filming for no one.
Yeah, I saw the cat with that.
So, I don't need to do this line and this whole sex scene?
No. The sex scene is incredibly important.
Is the sex scene really necessary? I mean, it's YouTube.
No.
You're not even going to be able to show it anyway.
No, look, YouTube always changes their policies around their backflip and so forth. I'm sure one day they'll allow for actual penetration on YouTube, you know what I mean?
Did you write this just to fuck me?
Is it working?
No.
Well, fuck you, all women are sluts. Go take your money elsewhere. Women are thoughts. If she breathes, she a thought. Black pill.